All right, hello everyone. Eric Marks, findingmiddleearth.com, and welcome to episode 4 of my weekly Instagram photo critique. Thank you to everyone who participated in this week's critique. If you guys want to get your photos critiqued, then post a photo on Instagram and use my hashtag FMEcritique, and that will sort your photo in with all the rest of the people that have used the hashtags. That way I can narrow it down and see all the photos into one kind of pool of photos to choose from. So thank you to all the people that participated in this week. Let's go ahead and get started here. So this first photo here is a beautiful sunset. Really, nice color. I'll go ahead and throw up the person's Instagram account right now, the person that took this photo. So looking at this, which by the way, I want to let everyone know, when I do these critiques, this is like the first time I've actually studied the image, okay? Obviously I see them on Instagram beforehand and I reach out to the people, but this is the first time I kind of study it on a big screen and really critique it. So I don't stare at these for an hour before I record the video. I want you guys to kind of see me do it in real time and get inside of my head and see my thought process kind of take place. So as I'm looking at this, what do we know about composition, right? Composition is leading lines work well, interesting foregrounds work well, things that are kind of off-center tend to work well. So let's go ahead and examine leading lines, okay? Because I already see a few of these that are nice. So he has a line here, all right? And there is a nice line here, which kind of creates a path. And this is the waterway, okay, that goes right out to the city. And of course, the first thing I notice is the actual sun star. Very, very nice capture of the sun star there, kind of peeking through the building. So it's brilliant. And then, of course, the clouds are also very nice. The color in the clouds are great. So those key elements right there, this path, the sun itself, and then the clouds are all really great things, okay? But let's take those away for a second, and let's talk about the right side of the image, okay? Is there anything really great on the right side of the image that's helping the image, that's adding an extra layer of interest? This golden light on the buildings here is the only thing that I think is really good, just nice and complimentary about this side of the image. But everything else from pretty much here over to the right, okay, is not really doing much for me. There's nothing. The clouds get less interesting over here, okay? It's kind of fading into more of a blue purpley clouds instead of the nice golden light that's very intense. This area here is very shadowed. The water doesn't have a nice sheen from the golden light anymore over here. And then this big hole in the ground is just kind of a distraction, because it's just like a jet black hole in the ground. And then, of course, there's nothing special about any of this. So that tells me that compositionally, and for viewers, if I took this photo and I was thinking about my viewers, I might kind of break this down to what would really change the eye flow of this image and make it to where everything in this image was helpful to the composition. I would kind of break it down analytically and say all of this probably just isn't worth keeping just for this little bit of nice light here, right? I would probably just say, let's just scrap this side. And so we could crop the image, so let's go ahead and do that just to see what that would do. I think the composition would have been very nice as a vertical composition or as zoomed in, maybe stepped a little further back and zoomed in with your focal length. So let's just crop it to like here, okay? And then we'll bring it in a little bit from this side too. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this, but I'm just saying if it was me taking the photo, I might have done a vertical composition, something like this, all right? So I think immediately in my head, in my artistic vision, that just cleaned everything up. I don't have to worry about the mess on the right side of the image, the really darker parts that I can't even see. I know what's going on here now. I can visually see, right, this is a waterway, this is a line and a path that's leading me right out here. Okay, the clouds are all awesome because they're magentas and blues and golden light, very intense. And then, of course, based on the sheen of the water here, I know it's a great golden sunset. So everything is kind of just come into one little bit of the image now, and my brain understands it better. It's easier for my brain to comprehend what the photographer was trying to convey here, which is a nice golden light cityscape. Okay. As far as the foreground, it's not bad. It's not overly interesting, but it's not bad now that we cleaned up the image. So let's undo that and let's go back to the original image here, okay? And let's talk about a couple of other things. So compositionally, I think a very simple fix. Vertical composition could have fixed this, or like I said, stepping back and maybe zooming in, just because this whole right side here isn't really helping anything, in my opinion. It's not helping the image along. And I also don't think it's very complimentary, because this big black hole in the ground, and then again, all of this, the water's not interesting here, the clouds, it's just, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of how that side of the image takes away from the beauty of the left side of the image, because the left side's just brilliant. It's great. So let's talk about some technical things. Okay, just little. You guys know me by now. You know, I'm a stickler for detail stuff. I'm very nitpicky sometimes. It's probably because I print a lot, and when you print, a lot of the little details can kind of come to life a little more. So obviously, there's a little hot pixel right here. If you zoom in on the buildings, obviously there's some buildings that have lights on and some that don't. So like right here, it looks like a hot pixel, but it's probably a building with a light on with a window. Same thing right here. Let's see, over here, these all look like hot pixels, which they probably will look like that on print, but I know they're just, the window. So I would probably clone stamp out some of those just so that I wouldn't have to do it in the future. And then of course, same thing here. These little light leaks that are coming through the wood there. It's no big deal. It's just the little tiny details that I like to nitpick about. So there's those things. The other thing is, and this isn't a bad thing at all, I think the capture of the light was beautiful. I would say that if you shot this in RAW, that there's probably more texture and color there in the clouds. It's just like begging to be let out. So quickly, how would you enhance that color? Sometimes vibrance and saturation can only go so far. So what I would do is let me get rid of my brush here and create a new layer. I would just create a new layer brush here. All right, click on my brush, and then let's go to like a pinkish color or something. Maybe even kind of try to match the color. I'm holding Option, by the way. I'm going to match maybe this color. Okay. Something like that. And then let's go to a very low flow on our brush, like 10% flow, all right, somewhere around there. And then we'll go to maybe 25 to 30% on the opacity. And if I just start painting, it's adding more of that pink, magenta, purpley color, like the lavender color, into the clouds. All right, and I can make it smaller and just hone in on the purple parts. And this, my friends, is called color separation. If you hone in on one color, it separates it from the blues, which separates the blues from the yellows, and the yellows from the blues. So now let's hold Option and click some of this golden light here, okay? And let's work on some of the golden tips up here. You see how I'm making those tips a little more yellow and gold? Just enhancing the light there. That's just separating the color so that you're not adding saturation. What you're doing is, since you're separating the colors a little more, you're allowing the viewer's eye to notice the difference, the separation between purple and yellow, instead of just cranking the saturation up. I'm just going to keep doing that just a little bit more. Okay, so look at that. Okay, that just kind of enhanced the sun's. Oh, let me get rid of that. I grabbed my ruler down. There we go. That just kind of enhanced, the light a little bit more. I'm gonna just keep painting a little bit more yellow over that. Not that much. Let me take that away. Oh, whoops. What am I doing here? There we go. All right. So that way we're just subtle with it. Okay. But what we can also do is we can take the brush and we can just ease it in. Okay, we can take the layer and just ease in the opacity. Let me show you the before and after. So that's before, okay, and that's after. Before and after. Now there's more texture, okay, in the other one, but this fixes the color. If you were to fix the texture, that's a whole different video, but this separates the color more. If I wanted texture, I could just go and basically add what's called a detail extractor filter and then just mask it in over the sky, because I'm more worried about color than texture right now, and then I'll fix the texture later. But I don't want to get too far into post-processing right now. I just want to show you what the raw, a raw file can do, or even a JPEG, with separating the color, right? I added more. I kind of took away these mean black tips of the clouds and softened it up a little bit and made more yellows and purples, which I think is just kind of nicer. It also kind of gave a little bit of an Orton effect to the sky. Anyway, other than that, the composition, the little detail things, and adding some more color, getting some more intensity out of the sky, very, very well done. So thank you again for participating. All right, let's move to the next photo here. This one I didn't find a whole lot wrong with, but it's another like simple fix. Okay, so first off, I like the simplicity of it. Okay, I like the lighthouse. I really like the light spill from the lighthouse. Oh, let me fix my brush settings here. I had it on a really soft brush for the last image. So I like the light spill down here, the reflection off of the paved road, okay? And then I like the long exposure effect in the clouds. What's interesting, and I'm going to let the viewer comment and tell me because I don't know, but if you zoom in a lot on this image, like a lot, you see these little things here that almost look like rips in fabric, like this thing right here, and this thing inside here, and this bit here. I don't know if you can see that on video, but it almost looks like this was a sky replacement. It looks like this was a mask drawn around the lighthouse, and then you kind of masked in a new sky, because there's almost like some rips or bending of the edges here that leads me to believe it might have been a sky replacement. So that I don't know. I'm going to let the viewer tell me if that's true or not. If it is a sky replacement, it's a pretty convincing one, but it just keep in mind, again, when you print and when people zoom in on your work, those flaws are there. So take into that whatever you want. It's up to you how you want to fix that. If you don't care, then that's fine. There's a lot of people that who cares if you zoom in 300% on my work? You're just a pixel peeper, and nobody cares. But again, for printing purposes, those little flaws will stand out. So yeah, I'm curious if that's a sky replacement. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the big haloed light that's around this. It's like a big noticeable halo. Sometimes those haloed light can be nice in a long exposure, but this one's very harsh. It's like a very defined line. So I would have definitely tried to fix that in post-processing, which can be done. I'm not a huge fan of the yellow, the really yellowy orange clouds. I'm assuming that was from some kind of light spill. So again, you can paint some blue and purple back into this to really soften up the color. And back here, as far as the details go, all right, obviously there's a little boat here that I would just get rid of. There's a boat down here, just get rid of that. They're just nothing but distractions. All these little distractions back here, okay? So now, I ask myself again compositionally, is anything over here in the foreground helping the lighthouse? Not really, because there's no golden light on the grass. At least there's no natural light. It's all artificial light is what it seems like. The nicest part of this image to me, other than the lighthouse, is the light spilling on this road here. And so I would have liked to have seen more road. I think that you should have kind of maybe backed up. Again, I don't know if that was possible, but if it was a longer road, I would have backed up a little further and let the road, tilt the camera down and let the road kind of lead you into the lighthouse. Because right now, there's nothing kind of leading me into the lighthouse other than the lighthouse being dominantly center frame. But compositionally, again, I think this would have worked better as a vertical, with a longer leading line of the road. So backed up a little further, maybe zoomed out with a wide angle lens and let the road just lead your eye right in. So let's crop this and let's just see. Again, let's do some experimenting. I could be wrong. That I think as a vertical shot, and you can leave it center frame, that's perfectly fine. But I think as a vertical, it would probably work better just to eliminate distraction. Yeah, see, again, I think that just completely changes the image. So much nicer. There's so much less dominant yellow, bright yellow, orange sky, There's so much less distraction of the grass to the right and the left, and now my eye really just focuses on this nice light spilling onto the pavement and, of course, the nice lighthouse. So, again, very simple fixes. There hasn't been any like terrible photographers here that I've critiqued. These are just simple things, and these are all based on opinion too, by the way. This, what I say isn't just written in stone. So, well done. I think that would have fixed a lot. The composition, vertical, trying to work on the color with the clouds, and then I don't know if this was a screen replacement or not, but it really looks like there was some kind of mask drawn here with a few of the flaws there. So just, work on that. You can choose to do what you want there. But well done. Thank you for participating. So now we'll get to the last image, which is going to be kind of a featured image, which I think is a brilliant image. And this is this image here. Okay, this is a portrait. I'll go ahead and throw up the person's Instagram account that took this photo. All right, and I think this is a great portrait. Just great. I like the crop on it. I like how it doesn't show all of the head, or all of the turban, rather. I think it zoomed in. It's very nice. I like the kind of desaturated feel to it. You can tell it's probably been desaturated or some kind of a bleach pass filter put on it. So I love that. I love the kind of the brighter light on cheeks, nose, cheeks here. The light on his face is very nice. The eyes are razor sharp. Okay, just razor sharp, which is what really pulls me into this image. So those key elements are just great. And then, of course, I like the way the subject has his head tilted. Okay, tilted in the frame. I think it's much more interesting than looking at it straight on, because it kind of helps fill the square frame of the photo. Again, the crop is great. I like how it's just kind of shoulders, neck, and head. Just great, just brilliant, all the way around. I think it's great. I don't know what I would change about it. Maybe add a vignette and work on the dodging and burning of the eyes and skin a little bit, just to bring out the detail there. But I mean, just great. So very, very, very well done. This is my featured image of this week's photo critique. Beautiful, beautiful image. I even like the way that, because this is kind of a street portrait, I'm assuming. I like the way that he left the little chapped part of his lip there and didn't remove that, because it kind of plays into the whole weathered skin. You can tell this is an older guy with some weathered skin, and his, the wrinkles under his eyes, just you can tell this guy has some cool stories to tell you. I'd like to sit with this guy and have a cup of coffee for a couple hours and just listen to some stories. That's what this image makes me want to do. So very well done. Thank you again to everyone who participated. If you guys have any questions about this video or anything, of course, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you guys next week for the next photo critique. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. If you would like to stay up to date on all of my photography videos and free tutorials, please consider subscribing by clicking on my face. And if you would like to find out more about me and how to improve your photography, visit my website at findingmiddleearth.com.